Well, we lived very near the ocean, so we used to go to the beach quite a lot during the summer. I remember we used to play with the seaweed when we used to go down to the sea. We'd be swimming in the ocean, and we'd have seaweed fights, you know. So we had a lot of interaction with seaweed from an early age. Plus, we used to just pick it off the rocks and eat it if we wanted to, you know, a quick snack. Dillis grows on the shoreline and very near the sea, just up a bit from, you know, not out in the ocean, but just in the foreshore. So we used to snack on dillis because it's lovely and salty. So you know, you wouldn't get dehydrated during the summer if you were eating a bit of dillis. I mean, we had a neighbour that used to use he used to harvest seaweed on the beach very near our house and bring it up to his land. He used to use it as fertilizer on his land. So yeah, we use seaweed quite a lot in different forms when we were younger, and still do. I remember I had a cold when I was or flu when I was about 15. I had quite a chesty cough, so my mother gave me some Irish moss in a saucepan mixed with milk, and she strained the milk, the gel from the Irish moss seeped into the milk, so she gave me this milk with the gel from the seaweed.
Yes.
And it cured my cough about 2 days.
And do you know that to be a cultural remedy here in Ireland? That was,
it is, yeah.
It wasn't just your mom, it was something you found that was being used by a lot of people?
Sure, yeah, and actually Irish moss is sold in health food shops and other stores as a cold remedy in this country. So it's quite commonplace that people would use it when they have a cold or flu. I've been working in the seaweed business for about 10 years. I joined the National Seaweed Processing Company in the late 90s. I'm an engineer by profession. I joined as operations manager of the National Seaweed Processing Company. So I became CEO of that company and left last year to set up my own business in seaweed. So ISBL became a reality because it's something I wanted to do just to maximize the potential of seaweed in this country. Yes. I'm processing red, green and brown seaweeds and making extracts from the seaweed and making powders out of the seaweed and selling it into the sea veg blend. And being very proud of doing that because it's helping a lot of people and it's very good for the environment. We're extremely happy to be involved in a business like this. Before we process the seaweed, we harvest it ourselves down in the shoreline. So brown, red and green seaweeds grow in different areas of the shore. So
on the west coast here.
On the west coast of Ireland, absolutely. We don't get it anywhere else but here because we know that this is the cleanest waters. The Marine Institute, which is located very close to here, rates the waters in Galway Bay as Class A, which is the highest class you can get for waters. So it's extremely clean. We harvest the seaweed in a sustainable manner so that we know that it's going to be sustainable, that it'll regrow back in about 3 years' time. So we make sure that we're using the best seaweed all the time. There are millions of tons of seaweed off the coast of Ireland, so we harvest some seaweed here, wait for that to grow back, then we harvest the next batch right beside it, wait for that to grow back, and we keep doing it in a cycle. So every 3 years we may come back to where we harvested 3 years previously. The key thing for the farmasea blend is traceability back to the shoreline. So we have a traceability number for every capsule that comes into the bottle that's consumed by the end user. They'll know where it came from so they can trace it right back to the shoreline. And it's very important from a quality point of view that this is in place. When we take in our seaweed, the first thing we do is wash it of any sand or debris, you know, shells from the ocean, and remove any kind of sand or silt. And then we chop it up into small pieces. We dry it. It's very important that the temperature of the dryer is kept just about 70 degrees centigrade so that the product is pasteurized, but that the nutritional value of the seaweed is not affected in any way, because seaweed is very, very temperature sensitive. And if you have drying at very high temperatures, you're going to damage the ground base of the seaweed, the cells of the seaweed walls, and you're going to take away from the nutritional goodness of the seaweed. So it's very important that seaweed is dried at a low enough temperature just to dry it, but not to dry it too much. We analyze all our product before we send it to pharmacy, so we know that it's very high in fiber, it's good and high in carbohydrates, high in a range of vitamins and minerals, trace supplements, growth hormones, fucoidan, fucoxanthin, in natural sugars, in natural essential fatty acids, omega-3, 6, 9. It's got them all. So we know exactly, because we get it analyzed. Every batch we produce, we get it analyzed. So we know where the best vitamins and supplements are to be found from the shoreline.
Yes.
So of course we know, because we want to produce the best. We don't want to do things half good. We want to do them to the best of our potential and the best of our ability. So we want to sell the customer the best. Synthetic vitamins are what they are. They're synthetic. They're not natural. Seaweed is natural. It's been used for generations. Our forefathers used seaweed as a natural remedy. That's why they never got sick. You know, they lived so long. Now we live shorter lives. We're obese. We don't have energy. We're not fit. So why use synthetic when it's not natural? The natural remedies were much better and more commonplace before synthetic ever came on the market. So it's something that is very strongly rooted in my belief, both from a spiritual point of view and just a common sense. This is pure seaweed powder. This is just milled down very fine into a seaweed powder, and this is what makes up the farmasea sea veg capsules. So we add, this is the brown seaweed powder at the moment, plus the green, plus the red, all blended together. The 12 different species. So it's a lovely, healthy product. You can see how clean it is yourself. So it's quite good. You know, I can eat it myself. It's pure gold, and it's gold from the sea. You know, and keep eating it because it's going to make you golden too.